Ferrari's secret Austrian Grand Prix plan is not one upgrade, is a warning to the entire grid, a new power unit step, a second aerodynamic package, a revised shell fuel blend, a radical rotating rear wing, and Lewis Hamilton arriving in Austria after his first Ferrari win, with Antonelli's championship lead cut from 66 points to 41. That is not coincidence. That is timing. And this is what should terrify every rival team. Ferrari's Austrian power gain may only be the smaller step, around 5 horsepower, but the real target across the season is around 30. The bigger hit is still waiting for Monza. So if Ferrari is already winning before the full plan arrives, what happens when the full plan finally lands? Mercedes has reliability scars. Red Bull's power advantage is being hunted. McLaren is being squeezed. And Ferrari now has something every rival fears: momentum, upgrades, and Hamilton believing again. Austria may not be the final blow. It may be the first sign that Ferrari's real attack has begun. Subscribe to the channel. Ferrari should not be frightening every rival team this early. That is what makes the Austrian Grand Prix feel so dangerous. Because at the start of the season, Ferrari looked like a team with potential, but not control. The speed was there in flashes. The ambition was impossible to miss. Hamilton's arrival had made the whole paddock stare at Maranello again. Leclerc still had the raw pace to disturb any qualifying session. But Ferrari did not look complete. Not yet. Australia showed exactly why rivals were not fully convinced. Ferrari had the chance to attack under virtual safety car conditions, but strategy decisions cost them. Energy management was not sharp enough. Leclerc admitted there had been an error in optimizing the energy strategy. Hamilton was still learning the rhythm of a completely different team, a different car, a different culture. Mercedes walked away looking organized. Ferrari walked away looking wounded. And in Formula One, wounded teams are usually watched for one of two reasons. Either they collapse under the pressure, or they become more dangerous because of it. Ferrari may have chosen the second path. That is why Austria matters. Because this is not just Ferrari turning up with another package and hoping it works. This looks like a timed attack. A carefully stacked moment where several pieces arrive together just when the championship has started to shift. A power unit step, a second aerodynamic package, a revised shell fuel blend, a car already built around a radical rotating rear wing concept, and Lewis Hamilton arriving with the confidence of a man who has finally won in red. That combination is why rival teams are not just curious. They are nervous, because a single upgrade can be studied. A single part can be copied, understood, or dismissed. But when a team brings multiple changes at once, the danger becomes much harder to read. Rivals may see the lap time, but they may not immediately know where it came from. Was it the internal combustion step? Was it the fuel blend? Was it the aero package? Was it the rear wing efficiency? Was it Hamilton finally unlocking the Ferrari? Was it Leclerc gaining a qualifying weapon? Or was it all of them working together? That uncertainty is part of the threat. Ferrari's secret plan is not secret because nobody knows upgrades are coming. The paddock knows. The reports are out there. Rival engineers are watching every detail. The real secret is how the pieces connect and how far this development path can go. That is what terrifies the grid. Because Austria may only be the first visible sign. The source report says Ferrari's ADO upgrade in Austria is expected to bring around 5 horsepower through combustion improvements and a revised shell fuel blend. In normal terms, 5 horsepower does not sound like a championship earthquake. It sounds small. It sounds manageable. It sounds like the kind of number a rival team can pretend not to fear. But in Formula One, small numbers can become huge when they arrive in the right place, at the right circuit, with the right driver, at the right moment of the season. And Ferrari has all of those things lining up. The Red Bull ring is short. Margins compress quickly. A 10th here matters. A stronger exit matters. Slightly better straight line efficiency matters. A car that can stay close for one more lap matters. A driver who can pressure instead of falling away matters. 5 horsepower can be the difference between being just outside the danger zone and being close enough to attack. And once Ferrari is close enough, everything changes. Mercedes cannot relax. Red Bull cannot ignore the power recovery. McLaren cannot assume Ferrari remains behind in the development race. Every rival has to ask the same uncomfortable question. What if this is only the beginning? Because that is the real fear. Austria is not supposed to be the biggest hit. The bigger power step is planned later at Monza. The total target across Ferrari's ADO upgrades is around 30 horsepower. That number is the one rival engineers will circle. That number is the future threat hiding behind the present weekend. If the smaller step makes Ferrari more dangerous now, what happens when the larger step arrives? That is why the grid is scared of the trajectory, not just the upgrade. Trajectory is everything in a championship. A team can be quick one weekend and disappear the next. Rivals can live with that. They can call it track-specific. They can call it a perfect strategy. They can call it luck. They can wait for the pattern to fade. But when a team starts improving race after race, and then adds legal development windows, and then wins, and then brings a major package, rivals stop calling it luck. They start calling it a title threat. That is what Ferrari is trying to become. A threat that grows. Not a one-race surprise. Not a sentimental Hamilton victory. Not a flash of red in a season still controlled by Mercedes. Something more dangerous. A campaign. And campaigns are built through timing. First, Ferrari survived the difficult start. Then Hamilton settled in. Then the gap began to close. Then Barcelona gave them belief. Now Austria gives them parts. Later, Monza may give them the bigger punch. That is not random. That is a season being shaped. And every rival team understands the danger of a team shaping the season around a late surge. Because if Ferrari peaks too early, rivals can respond. If Ferrari peaks too late, the championship may be gone. But if Ferrari begins to rise now, with 16 races still remaining, the entire title fight opens. That is why Antonelli's lead being cut from 66 points to 41 matters so much. A 41-point gap is still significant, but is no longer emotionally safe. Not with Hamilton behind. Not with Ferrari improving. Not with Mercedes carrying reliability scars. Not with a bigger Ferrari power step still waiting. That is how a championship lead starts to feel different. On paper, the leader is still ahead. In the paddock, the hunter starts to feel closer. And once the hunter feels closer, every mistake becomes louder. Mercedes knows that. Their fear is not only Ferrari's performance. Their fear is timing. Ferrari's rise is arriving while Mercedes has been hurt by reliability. Antonelli's car cut out in Barcelona. Russell has already lost major points from failure. The team that should look like the safest favorite suddenly has questions around survival. That gives Ferrari an opening, and Ferrari's plan is designed to widen it. A power gain helps Hamilton stay closer. An aero gain helps the car carry speed more efficiently. A fuel blend improvement helps combustion. A rotating rear wing concept gives Ferrari a unique direction that rivals cannot instantly copy. And Hamilton gives the whole project the one thing rivals hate most. A driver who knows how to turn opportunity into pressure. That is the human side of the plan. Upgrades do not terrify rivals by themselves. Drivers do. Execution does. Momentum does. Ferrari has had fast parts before. Ferrari has had talented drivers before. Ferrari has had hope before. But hope becomes frightening when it turns into results. Barcelona did that. Hamilton's first Ferrari win did more than cut the points gap. It changed the way rivals had to look at him. Before Barcelona, some could still say he was adapting, still learning, still not fully comfortable, still dangerous, but not fully connected to Ferrari yet. After Barcelona, that excuse became weaker. Hamilton now has proof. He has stood on the top step in red. He has seen the team deliver a winning strategy. He has felt what the car can do when the race comes to him. And a Hamilton with proof is not the same as a Hamilton with hope. Proof changes belief. Belief changes risk. Risk changes championships. That is why every rival team should be worried. Because if Hamilton believes Ferrari is becoming a title car, he will drive like the championship is alive. If Leclerc believes the package is stronger, he will attack qualifying with even more edge. If the Ferrari pit wall believes it can fight Mercedes, the strategy calls become more aggressive. And once Ferrari starts acting like a title contender, rivals have to respond as if they are one. That response creates pressure everywhere. Mercedes must protect the championship lead. Red Bull must protect its power unit benchmark. McLaren must protect its position in the front group. Everyone must watch Ferrari's development curve. That is the first real shift Austria could create. Not just lap time. Behavior. If Ferrari looks stronger in Austria, every rival starts behaving differently. Mercedes may manage less comfortably. Red Bull may push development harder. McLaren may rethink where Ferrari sits in competitive order. The media starts framing Ferrari as the rising threat. Fans start believing the comeback is real. And in Formula One, perception becomes pressure very quickly. A team that feels watched begins making defensive decisions. A team that feels chase begins protecting points. A team that sees a rival's upgrade working begins wondering whether its own development is enough. Ferrari wants that. They want every rival team to stop looking forward and start looking sideways. Where is Ferrari? How close is Hamilton? How fast is Leclerc? How much is the engine worth? How strong is the aero package? How much bigger is Monza going to be? Those questions can become distractions, and distractions cost performance. That is the hidden value of Ferrari's plan. It does not only improve the red car, it forces everyone else to think harder. It makes rivals spend energy decoding what Ferrari has done. It makes them study speed traps, sector times, deployment behavior, tire degradation, rear wing movement, and long-run pace. That kind of attention means Ferrari has entered their heads. And once a team enters a rival's head, the race has already started before the lights go out. This is why the Austrian package is so much more important than a simple upgrade list. A simple upgrade list says Ferrari brought parts. The Real story says Ferrari brought pressure. Pressure on Mercedes to prove the lead is safe. Pressure on Red Bull to prove its power advantage is not being eroded. Pressure on McLaren to prove it can match the upgrade race. Pressure on every rival strategist to prepare for a Ferrari that may be more aggressive, more efficient, and more confident than it was before. That is why this plan feels different. Ferrari is not only trying to go faster. Ferrari is trying to change the mood of the championship. And if they do it in Austria, the consequences will last far beyond one weekend. Because the most terrifying thing in Formula One is not a team that suddenly gets quick. It is a team that gets quick, understands why, and still has more upgrades coming. That is the position Ferrari wants rivals to believe it has. And belief alone can be powerful. If Mercedes believes Ferrari is coming, they may race more defensively. If Red Bull believes Ferrari is closing the power gap, they may feel less protected by their benchmark. If McLaren believes Ferrari's development rate has jumped, they may feel squeezed before the next phase of the season. Ferrari does not need every fear to be fully true immediately.